And here we go again, folks. Welcome in. Summer League continued. This is the one and only Jet 707. In this video, we'll show how Bruce Thornton continues to shine and why it's also defensively why we should also be excited. We all know what he brings to the table offensively. If you didn't watch my last video, go ahead and watch it. You'll be blown away by some of the metrics this guy had coming out. But we all know Udoka. Udoka loves defense. Ultimately, defense is what's going to get him on the court quickly. I do quickly just want to thank all the super early subscribers. I did the last video specifically just for the hardcore Rockets fans, and this one will also be for that. I'm actually a little surprised the subscriber count went much higher. Normally those trade rumor videos tend to do bigger numbers, but again, I'm not here to feed you guys slop. I'm here to give you guys hardcore analytics, real data, and more importantly, cover our favorite team, the Houston Rockets. So, number one, thank you for that, guys. We went from, what was it, about 80 to 139 currently. We're doing really good, and hopefully once I get to 1,000, I will be posting daily. So give your guys selves a pat on the back. Thank you for smashing that subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. But today, this early game, just another lunch pail. Bring your lunch pail to work game for Bruce Thornton. An easy night at the office. 18 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 7 from deep, and 3 of 5 from the free throw line. 4 assists, 2 steals, couple rebounds. More importantly, 0 turnovers, guys. Possession maxing at his finest. This guy was historically great in that department. Says he models his game a little bit around Fred VanVleet, but I'll explain why the ceiling is actually much, much higher. But what an impressive performance on only 9 shots. And the points, just like in the first game, they could be much higher. They got that rule where they're only doing 1 free throw attempt. So, these could be higher scoring games. And the summer leagues are, 10 minutes a quarter? And it was largely a blowout, so the minutes were down. But just overall, very impressed with the way he moved out there on both ends, too. Like defensively, he's a bit of a dog on that end, and we're gonna get to that in just a moment. But in this game, we saw what he's bringing. I mean, we saw it at Ohio State too. I mean, he's hitting threes. What do you have? Another 3 3-pointers today. He's had 3 in every game so far. You know, he had that nice drive where he uses those big shoulders, kind of Jalen Brunson-ish, right? He uses that. He's short, but he's not small. He uses that burly frame to really wall off defenders. And I'll quickly put it on the screen in case anybody forgot the last video, although we are going to focus mostly on defense in this video. This guy was elite in college at finishing at the rim, like the best guard in college basketball in this year's draft. He was elite in the mid-range, elite in the pick and roll, although in the summer league he doesn't really have a dance partner yet. That's going to be totally different on opening night if he gets opening minutes, which I do think he will. He'll have Şengün to work with there. I think this year we'll see Amin Thompson. People forget Amin Thompson was great for a guy who never set screens before, really growing up. I mean, he looked like a natural roller towards the rim, but we didn't have Fred this year, so he was more on ball and KD ISO ball or Şengün ISO ball. So we didn't get to see that as much. I think with Fred back this year and with Bruce Thornton, we're going to see much more of that, and we should see an even more efficient Amin Thompson. But I said it on draft night. In fact, this guy was my inspiration for starting YouTube, which again, thanks a million, guys. We are doing pretty good. I'm very happy with all the support we're getting. We're getting people from the Dream Shake, other people from. I see all you guys in other YouTube videos, comment section. I appreciate you guys rocking with me, for real. But Bruce Thornton, he's got everything. He's a 3-level scorer. He's got the mid-range. He's got the floater. He's got the long ball at the rim. It doesn't matter. This guy is a professional scorer. But as you guys know, under Coach Udoka, if you're not giving effort on that side of the ball, guess what? You're not going to play. Or if you're just bad in general. You guys remember Reed Shepherd's rookie year? I mean, man, he had that kid glued to the bench. I mean, it's hard to get a rhythm when you're getting yanked for every little tiny mistake. So let's not get it twisted. At the same stage, coming out of college, Bruce Thornton is much more experienced than Reed. I mean, Reed really is a better player than him coming out. You know, Reed was a freshman, and he came off the bench, and he had that lights out shooting season at Kentucky, and it was a relatively weak draft. But you know, younger guys are always going to go higher in the draft. Thornton is better than him overall coming out, and definitely better defensively. He might be 6 foot, but that 223-pound frame, that 6'5" wingspan, it shows up. I mean, we'll start out with the effort, right? He's talked about it. He says he's going to leave it all on the floor. You believe him. This guy has amazing character, a 4-year captain at Ohio State. You see the high IQ, you see the strength, but more importantly, what stood out to you guys on that end? For me, it was the competitiveness. I mean, we saw it a few times. The other guy in the Sixers, big dude, I forget his name. I mean, I don't expect anybody to know his name. He's not really an NBA player. But there was a few times their center tried posting him up. Didn't happen. You tried, and we've seen it throughout. Bigger guys are going to try to post him up on those switches, but he is a strong little dude, man. I won't even call him little. He's just short, but he is so strong. He is so naturally low to the ground with that bowling ball frame. So you can try and waste your time. It's not a good idea. And the more he continues to prove that, you'll see less of the time they're going to try to isolate him and hunt him down on that end. So that was great to see for sure. I mean, the kid just has the right attitude that the coaching staff is going to like. He knows how to work. I did mention this in the last video. I'll briefly touch on it before. I believe his mother was interviewed right around past halftime. His mother was a collegiate basketball player, son of a professional football player, and his brother is the starting strong safety for the Florida Gators. So athletic genes, knows how to work, and just a loyal person. And maybe I'll even put that on the screen. It's like, think about this, guys. We are now in the NIL era. We're starting to see these older second rounders, which I have argued that I do think it's a good thing because, you know, second rounders don't get a lot of times. A lot of times in the NBA, your opportunity is only so small. You got to show that you're ready and that you can contribute on that rookie contract, or you might not get one, right? And Bruce looks a lot more prepared than other players. Certainly, I believe this was the right pick. But in the NIL era, we're seeing guys just, they're a bit of mercenaries. They're going to go to the highest bidder to get that name, image, likeness, money. It's life-changing money. I do not blame them at all. But for Bruce, he stayed loyal to Ohio State, right? What did he have? Like 36 teammates in his collegiate career, and I do think playing with better teammates at the next level is going to pay dividends. You know, chemistry number one. It's not going to be random guys with, you know, not the most skilled guys. I'll just say he wasn't playing with. I mean, who did he play with that's even been to the NBA? Bryce Sensabaugh, off the top of my head, was NBA player. Somebody mentioned him on one of the Rockets videos if he's available. He's got 1 year left on his deal, but you know, with Utah, they got a lot of players now. Maybe he would be a good get. And he was the 28th overall pick for them. He is certainly really good offensively. That could be a good sneaky trade target. So shout out to you. Let me know if you guys want me to make a video on some under the radar trade targets. That might actually be a good idea. We don't always have to focus on stars. We could be realistic on this channel. And he also played with Felix Okapa, 46th pick by the Washington Wizards. Athletic big who spent 2 years at Ohio State and 2 years at Tennessee. So, yeah, one guy who's been in the NBA and one guy who was also a second round pick this year. Needless to say, he was outgunned team wise every single night. And he still produced as the focal point, right? And it's like, yeah, you get to be the focal point, but then the defenses are gunning against you every night. Right? He played Michigan, the defending champions, who had 3 guys get drafted. Their whole front line, Morris Johnson, Ade Mara, and Yaxel Lendenberg, they all got picked in the lottery. right? And he went against them. I believe he had one good game, one not so good game. But again, it's a huge NBA front line in what one of the strongest drafts ever. They were all lottery picks. So let's just put that in perspective. He's going to have better teammates. He's going to have an easier job. And we can get to that why I think he's going to be good defensively. Number one, the physical dimensions are better than what people give him credit for. He's got that strength. He's got that leverage. Well, real quick, if you look on NBA.com, he already has that fake listing that they've pretty much gone away from being realistic with their listings. He's back to being listed at 6'2", and they all get it. Jalen Brunson isn't 6'2", he's 6'1", and so forth. And who else? Cooper Flagg was 6'7.5". Couple weeks later, he's 6'9", and so is Ace Bailey. And it's WWE. I won't even rant about it. The NBA is the only league that does this. And it's like, oh, the in shoes fallacy. Does the NFL list their players in cleats? Does the NHL list their players in ice skates? No, it's so dumb. But a 6', 223-pound frame with a 6'5" wingspan. At Ohio State, remember, he was the guy every single night. Extremely high usage rate. It's like these guys aren't robots, right? You got to be able to conserve your energy somehow. And for the most part, he did compete really hard defensively at Ohio State, just like you see him get caught on switches a few times this year. That happened in college too. Like, don't think it didn't. There are plenty of examples of it. There was a guy who did a really good breakdown. If I can remember his name, I'll put it in the notes. But he showed plenty of examples of him getting low and boxing out guys. Like, he averaged 5 rebounds a game in college, which is great for a 6-foot guy. But there was times where Morris Johnson, who I just mentioned, the Dallas Mavericks, Dusty May obviously loved him. His college coach gets hired with the Mavericks and drafts him above the other guys. Where he tried to bully him, all 250 rock solid pounds of him, and he could not do it, man. Bruce is crazy strong. Just a masterful performance defensively by the whole team. And you know what? Quadir Copeland, actually, real quick, he also shined a bit on that end. I mentioned it in the last video where he worked with the shooting coach, Phil Beckner, and the shot looks real. He has been shooting it very well so far in the summer league. It's good to see. He's great driver. I mean, although he's not a crazy athlete, he's got really good handles, right? He kind of reminds me a little bit of, maybe you guys remember him. You guys remember DeLon Wright? Big point guard, kind of do it all. Master of none, but just good at everything, right? He kind of reminds me of him a bit. And we'll see. In the G League, we'll see Quadir Copeland get more on-ball reps because I've been wanting to see him in that. He's done great as a secondary creator, but he'll be on that 50-game two-way contract limit, so expect to see him get plenty of reps in Rio. I think he'll be obviously the starter there because I don't think Bruce Thornton is going to be a G League player right off the bat. I think the coaching staff is really going to like him. I mean, let's put it this way, guys, and this is another thing I love. The NBA draft, day 2 is now, it's on a different day, right? They had all night to think about this. They identified their guy, outbidded probably other teams that maybe weren't going up for Thornton, but they were trying to go up for other guys. And they got their dude, right? That means, it tells me that the coaching staff, the front office, they have a plan for this guy. I mean, if you really look at the hardcore analytics and the databases, there's only one other guy that comes to mind in terms of this level of efficiency, and that was Jalen Brunson. Just saying. And watch the last video. I could prove that. In fact, I'll bring up some other metrics in this video with Jalen Brunson and other notable short guards with those stocky-ish frames. I don't think anybody is as strong as Thornton, even all the guys that I'll list in this video. But there is a pathway to being a plus defender because we've seen it. Anytime somebody's short, there's always going to be question marks until the scouts and the coaches see it at the NBA level. Like, okay, he was good in college. Can he do that in the pros? There's always going to be those question marks when you're that size. And I'm going to give you guys some 6'2" guys. And I could have done this longer too, but I'll keep it to 4 guys. 4 guys that everybody should know here. Good examples of guys who had questionable like, were they going to translate defensively at the next level? And they have either held their own or were really damn good in that department. We'll get to that. Let's get to it right now, as a matter of fact. Keep in mind, this is just their listed heights, right? All of these guys were actually shorter barefoot. Kyle Lowry. Anybody remember Kyle Lowry coming out of Villanova back in the day? Was he drafted the same year Mike Conley was? He might have been, or maybe it was the year before. I know they both played for the Grizzlies for a little bit. And Kyle Lowry, of course, famously, was a Houston Rockets. You guys remember those years that we were pretty good but couldn't make the playoffs? I guess we would have been a play-in team those years with the current rules. It used to be the worst place to be in the NBA because then you couldn't get a high draft pick and you weren't a playoff team. And now they've kind of corrected that with the anti-tanking rules. Again, we will see a lot of parity this year. You're going to see it now that 15 guys aren't going to be questionable to play. So I do think that's a good thing, at least for this next year, which, by the way, I fully expect Brooklyn and Phoenix to be in that 4 through 10 spot, which would give the Rockets about a 17% chance at the top pick, which is higher than the current odds. Do not trade those picks, Raphael Stone, please. But Kyle Lowry, like Bruce Thornton, bowling ball frame, ultra competitive, NBA champion. We know what he brought to the table. There was a bunch of people that were questioning him. Like, is he going to be able to defend at the next level? He's so small. And it's like, dude, this guy's got to be, what's he got to be power cleaning? Like, Kyle Lowry's a strong little pit bull dude, and he's not even as big as Bruce Thornton. So there's one example right there. How about, let's get at the next one. Also another Villanova cat, Jalen Brunson. Won 2 national titles in college, and yes, he played with a lot of talent, but we've seen him. Like, is he phenomenal defensively? Maybe not, but he certainly competes. He takes charges. He's a high IQ player. Like, did we watch him get hunted down in the playoffs by any of the San Antonio guards? I didn't see that. But the Knicks do have the personnel to hide him a little bit over there. You got McCall Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, just like Thornton will have in Houston with Tari, Bari, Marcus Smart, Amen Thompson, etc., and a defensive coach. Say what you want about Udoka. He knows defense. We have a base level of defensive floor here that we're dealing with. So I think he's going to fit right in, and he can really help become that offensive engine in spurts. Telling you right now, I think his ceiling is so much higher than what the common folks think. And I do think Raphael Stone saw some Jalen Brunson in him on both ends, and that's why he went up and got his guy. So bravo. How about another 6-foot guard, and generously listed at 6 foot, might I add, Jose Alvarado. Scouts were saying, like, yeah, he won, what was he, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, his last year in college, I believe. But it's like, they were saying, like, he's too aggressive. Like, he's going to foul out on that end if he plays like that in the pros. And, hey, sometimes he does get into foul troubles, but he really helped the Knicks in that comeback win and really throughout the finals. Like, look beyond the box score. He was an impact player. And I know a lot of fans wanted the Rockets to trade for him. I have said this. I have defended Raphael Stone in the past that had he traded for AU or Colby White or even Jose Alvarado, we would not even have been in the position to draft Bruce Thornton. Let's just put it that way. I mean, who knows? Maybe he pulls a rabbit out of the hat and he traded future picks to somehow get him, but I don't believe those mock drafts for a second. I follow them very closely, and Bruce Thornton was rising in the weeks coming to the draft. And you got to remember, the further you get away from those top 10 picks, the more off those mock drafts are going to be. So everybody could be like, I wanted this player. And I mean, most of you guys look in the mirror and admit you guys wanted those players because you heard their names more. Just saying. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to teach, fellas. But back to Alvarado, just the complete dog on defense who really changes the game with his pace defensively, right? Like, you guys got like guys like TJ McConnell who can really pass And he's a little bit of a dog defensively too, where they can just come in and elevate or change the pace of a game, right? Historically, anybody remember Lindsey Hunter of the Detroit Pistons? And he was a dog on defense despite being small. Patrick Beverley wasn't the biggest dude. Multiple teams, including our Houston Rockets, right? If you got heart and hustle on that end, and oh, believe me, that's going to endear itself to Ime Udoka, but you will get playing time, right? Those are all fine examples, right? And how about none other than Fred VanVleet, also generously listed at 6 foot coming out of Wichita State. And he's smaller than Bruce, weighs less, he has less length. I think he's less athletic at the same age. I mean, much less now with his knee. Who knows if he'll how he'll recover? And it's another thing. I don't think he's going to be an everyday player for the Rockets. If I had to guess, I would say he probably plays in the 50-ish games. I think Bruce Thornton is going to get his shot quicker than people think, right? Iron sharpens iron, and we'll see how those practices go with Reed Shepard. Although B Scott, I was in his chat the other day, and I was talking about. Well, I agreed with him that I do think that those two guys in spurts actually complement each other really well. So we'll see where that goes. But I am a fan of both of those guys. But Fred, what is Fred? A smart IQ player. He's got great hands, naturally low. He's got strength just like Bruce Thornton. But more importantly, he competes. He is an extension of the coaching staff offensively. He doesn't make crazy wild passes, and neither does Thornton, right? Thornton was historically good in college, right? Is he number one? He's the all time leading scorer at Ohio State. And I believe he's the only player in NCAA history with at least 2,000 points, 500 assists, and less than 200 turnovers since they started tracking those stats back in 1992. Just, I don't know what to say, guys. The Rockets, again, kudos to Raphael Stone. They went up and got their guy. Didn't just get their guy, they got my guy. You follow me on the Dreamsake, people will know I was super high on this guy. So he got his guy. You got my guy. You guys are my guys, man. Thanks for tapping in, guys. Please let me know what you guys think. And more importantly, you guys got ideas for some videos? It can be a trade for a superstar. It can be a trade for a role player. You know, should we have a philosophical change in the way the Rockets play basketball? It could be a coaching change. Who knows? Let me know. I'm open to any and all ideas. I do thank you guys again. You guys, my guys, for tapping in. This is the one, the only Jet 707. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.